What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg with my 2015 Apple Year in Review with my top 5 picks for the year. Now, I've been doing this since 2010. If you want to check back on those, I'll leave a playlist linked in the description below. Now before we get to my list, let's recap what happened in the year. Now the MacBooks were the first new products of the year. So the MacBook Airs were updated with new Broadwell CPUs, Intel graphics, Thunderbolt 2, and faster SSD storage. The MacBook Pros received similar updates but added a new Force Touch trackpad that uses force sensors and a Taptic engine to replicate the physical click of a traditional trackpad but with more consistent feedback, and added a new dimension to interaction with OS X, which allowed you to force click on items to bring up additional features. Apple also resurrected the MacBook lineup with a stunningly thin and lightweight 12-inch Retina laptop. It's also the first MacBook to be offered in multiple colors and even incorporated color matching Apple stickers. In terms of iMac, the biggest news here is the 4K Retina display variants of the 21.5-inch model, while the 27-inch iMac made 5K standard across the board. All iMacs received upgraded specs, including Skylake CPUs on the 27-inch and Broadwell on the 21.5-inch, along with upgraded graphics, faster RAM, and SSDs. All the Mac accessories were also updated with the new Magic Mouse 2, Magic Trackpad 2, and the Magic Keyboard with built-in batteries, which are rechargeable via a Lightning port. The new trackpad also added Force Touch and a much larger surface area, while the Magic Keyboard got a lot slimmer. Although visibly unchanged, the iPod Touch was finally updated by eliminating the iPod Loop and bumping up the specs to keep pace with the iPhone 6. We also saw some new colors added, such as gold and a new darker space gray, while the iPod Shuffle and iPod Nano carried over unchanged, but also picked up a host of new colors. The iPad Mini 4 seems to be about a year late, but it is the first all-new iPad Mini since it debuted and features a thinner and lighter design similar to the iPad Air 2. It also picks up the new A8 CPU so it can keep pace with the larger iPads. Now the most important update, however, is the dramatically improved Retina display, which is now laminated to the glass with a much richer color gamut. Now the Mini 1 and the Mini 3 were discontinued, while the iPad Mini 2 carries on as the most affordable iPad. Now the iPad Air line was unchanged for the year, but Apple added the iPad Pro and some accessories, which we'll talk about later. iOS 9 brought us hundreds of new tweaks and features, but the most important ones are found on the iPad, such as side-by-side windowing, which finally makes use of those large displays and processing power for true multitasking. Less significant is OS 10.11 or El Capitan, which brings us lots of under-the-hood performance improvements, but only small improvements to the user experience. Apple Music finally debuted their music subscription service with a completely redesigned app, which I also cover in my full walkthrough linked below. Now, this was also the year that Apple Watch finally went on sale, and we saw Watch OS 2 arriving shortly after, which added some much-needed performance enhancements and some new features. And of course, any year wouldn't be complete without one or two new iPhones, and since this is an S year, the iPhone looks the same but is significantly upgraded. Apple also released many new accessories, such as the iPhone Lightning dock in plastic and 4 matching aluminum colors, including the new Rose Gold, which is available on the iPhone 6s, 6s Plus, and the Apple Watch. We also got a ton of new case colors for the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, available in silicone and leather. Apple Watch also picked up the magnetic charging dock accessory late in the year, followed shortly by the smart battery case for the iPhone 6 and 6s. And instead of an all-in-one leather smart case, Apple is offering the smart cover plus the silicone case combo for the new iPad Mini 4 and the iPad Pro. So to weed all of that down to my top 5, let's get started with number 5, which is the all-new iPad Pro. This is Apple's largest and most powerful iOS device with a huge 12.9-inch Retina display, potent new A9X chip that outperforms even a MacBook, and an excellent 4-speaker sound system that can't be matched by any other tablet. It's also the first iPad to be designed for use with an Apple-designed smart keyboard and the Apple Pencil. Now, this is hardly a revolutionary idea since we've seen tablets crossing over into laptop territory for years, but Apple has been reluctant to bridge that gap until now. Now, the iPad Pro can be a number of things to different people. For some, it's a laptop replacement with LTE if you want, and for others, it's a superb digital sketchpad. In any case, the iPad Pro may not be for everybody due to its huge size, but I find it hard to go back to a smaller iPad Air after using that large immersive display. For number 4, I've chosen the 4th generation Apple TV, which finally received a long overdue update with more powerful hardware, including an A8 CPU, more storage, and a slick voice remote with a trackpad. But the big news is tvOS, an iOS-based platform that finally brings apps and developers to the Apple TV. We now get a huge selection of apps available to download that range from media apps to weather and shopping or gaming apps. For me, the most powerful new feature of the Apple TV is voice control, which is nothing new in the world of set-top boxes, but Apple does it in a genuinely useful new way, which lets you not only search for content with natural language, but also allows you to replay a scene with closed captioning and allows you to skip or advance video right down to the second. Ultimately, the Apple TV really isn't anything new in the world of set-top boxes, but it's a huge leap forward from the previous generation. Now, there are still some issues here, such as the lack of 4K and a finicky touchpad, which means I unintentionally brush against the touchpad to perform actions I didn't want it to do, which can be annoying, but it's still a welcome leap forward. For number 3, I've chosen the iPhone 6s Plus. Now, this brings us the same design, but an all-new, stronger 7000 series aluminum frame and the very powerful A9 CPU. Also bumps up the iSight camera to 12 megapixels with 4K video recording for the first time. We also have a 5 megapixel FaceTime HD camera with a Retina flash. Touch ID 2 is now much faster, and we get 3D Touch, which is the most talked about feature. The display is now pressure sensitive, which adds a new dimension to the user interface design. So we get some new gestures like peek and pop to preview and open up items. This feature also works with Live Photo, a feature exclusive to the iPhone 6s phones that records a 3-second video clip integrated with a photograph. Now, I think my favorite new features of the iPhone 6s would be the lightning fast Touch ID sensor, Live Photo, which turned out to be a lot more useful than I expected, and the wireless Hey Siri command, which I find myself using frequently and nobody else can invoke because it's finally trained to my voice. Less useful is 3D Touch, which I may go months without using or even remembering is there. But in the end, we're left with an improved version of an already fantastic phone with an outstanding camera, display, and battery. For number 2, I've chosen the Apple Watch, which was actually announced in 2014, but we didn't get to buy it until 2015. Now, admittedly, I had a really hard time ranking this product since I feel it's the least polished Apple product in recent memory. I feel it overpromises and underdelivers in many areas with slow and often confusing software design. But despite my gripes, it hasn't left my wrist since I put it on back in April. There is still no better way to deal with the constant drumbeat of notifications from my phone in my pocket than to have it conveniently accessible and glanceable from my wristwatch. This is by no means a critical function, but the convenience for me is significant, making this the most important new gadget category for me since the smartphone. But ultimately, apps are very slow to use, Siri is often slow and unresponsive, the touchscreen is buggy, and there are countless features that require these things to work smoothly, and it seldom does. Now, I like the Apple Watch for its core features and hardware design, but it's a complicated product in need of simplification. Now, for number 1, I've chosen the new 12-inch MacBook. Now, the MacBook stands apart as the most significantly new MacBook we've seen in years, with an all-new ultra-thin keyboard design, Force Touch trackpad, and a single USB Type-C port for charging and data. These are the first time Apple has used many of these technologies. Now, the keyboard is solid and quick to use, and the speakers are the best on any MacBook despite its diminutive size. And the display is just as good as the Retina display on the larger MacBook Pros, although this is much more compact. Although powered by a Core M Intel CPU, OS X is highly optimized on the MacBook and runs smoothly with no signs of performance constraints. Now, it's definitely one of those products that surprises and delights with its design and capabilities and is a genuine joy to use every day. Now, there are a few disappointments here, such as a 480p FaceTime camera and a single USB Type-C connector for everything, which can complicate things in a world that hasn't yet used USB-C. But in a year full of Apple products, the MacBook stands out as my favorite overall. Now, we can't really leave the year without talking about some of Apple's tech crimes. That includes the smart battery case for the iPhone 6 and 6s, which roughly doubles the battery capacity of the iPhone, but does so in a very inelegant way. We also have the Apple Pencil, which I think is a great accessory for the right user, but a lot of people are turned off by the charging method, which involves using the Lightning port at the bottom of the iPad Pro. This looks a little clumsy, but of course the Pencil charges pretty quickly, but many people are afraid this will snap off in use. We also have the standard 16 gig storage capacity of the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, which just isn't enough on the modern smartphone, which can now record 4K video, live photos, and of course apps just keep getting bigger. And then there is the standard 5400 RPM hard disk drive on the 4K iMac. That's pretty inadequate for a modern flagship desktop, which should have a standard SSD or Fusion drive. And lastly, there is the Magic Mouse 2, which is recharged via a lightning port at the bottom of the mouse, which means you can't charge it and use it at the same time like the other new Magic accessories. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this look back at Apple in 2015. I really enjoyed covering everything from Apple this year, and of course I'll be doing the same again next year in addition to a lot of other products. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.